Hi, my name is Fernanda Rivadeneira and I'm going to talking about stress perceived caffeine consumption and an average of people in a community. Definition: caffeine is a globally consumed chemical substance naturally found in tea, coffee, and cocoa, and is added in energy drinks, nutritional supplements, and certain drugs. It acts as a psychoactive drug, stimulating the central nervous system. It is consumed by humans mainly in infusion extracted from the coffee plant and tea leaf. It produces a temporary effect of restoring alertness and eliminating drowsiness.
So does caffeine affect your health? And the answer is sure. Caffeine is a stimulant. It's the most commonly used stimulant in the world. And so when you drink caffeine, what happens? Well, if you've ever had caffeine, you probably already know the answer to that. It's a stimulant, so you're going to feel acutely more activated, more alert. You may even feel a little euphoric. So you feel good when you drink a little bit of caffeine. The downside of caffeine acutely is it can make you feel maybe a little anxious, a little bit agitated. The bottom line is, in terms of health effects with caffeine, caffeine is actually pretty safe in moderate amounts. So up to 4 cups of coffee a day are felt to be, if anything, protective. When you look at all the evidence, and the evidence has gone back and forth over the years, the balance of the evidence seems to suggest that caffeine in moderate amounts is actually pretty good for you and may even decrease risks of overall mortality in time. There's decreased risks of things like diabetes, even Parkinson's disease, even cardiovascular disease, with moderate amounts can be decreased by moderate caffeine intake. On the downside, if you're drinking too much caffeine, you may be getting rebound headaches when you stop it. It may make you feel agitated if you quickly stop it as well. So moderate your caffeine intake, and if you have any further questions, feel free to talk to your primary care physician or to myself or any of my colleagues at Mount Sinai Doctors, Brooklyn Heights.
Applications in nutrition. Caffeine increases metabolism in generalized way, which could increase energy and nutritional needs. Caffeine has also been found to show neurological benefits, may induce weight loss in overweight and obese individuals by increasing resting metabolic rate, thermogenesis, and fat oxidation. In sport nutrition, it has been shown that caffeine intake before a medium or long endurance exercise delays the onset of fatigue by 10 to 20% and can last up to 6 hours after ingestion.
Coffee can be healthy, but how much is too much caffeine? During the last episode, we learned that our body needs salt to function, but it shouldn't be consumed in large quantities. In this episode, the message is about the same, but today we're talking about caffeine. Most of us can't function without coffee, am I right? Caffeine makes us feel awake and alert. This is because it acts as a stimulant. But too much caffeine can cause headaches, insomnia, muscle tremors, spikes in blood pressure, and anxiety. If you already have high blood pressure or irregular heart rhythm, caffeine can make your blood pressure rocket or may make your heart work harder, which is not ideal. Depending on factors such as body weight, medications you may take, and individual sensitivity, too much can vary from person to person. For healthy adults, the FDA recommends the maximum consumption of 400 milligrams of caffeine a day. That's about 4 or 5 cups of coffee at 8 ounces a cup. It sounds like a lot, right? The problem is, coffee is not the only source of caffeine. You can find it in many other beverages out there, and the consumption of these combined can easily have you exceeding the daily limit. You can find caffeine in sodas, energy drinks, and some teas, for example. So what about cutting your caffeine consumption in half? Let's say you normally have 4 cups of coffee a day and 2 other beverages containing caffeine. Try drinking just 2 cups of coffee and 1 other beverage for a while. This way, you will decrease your caffeine consumption without giving it up completely. Stick to your goal by keeping track of your beverages in the LifeSum app. Remember, caffeine can be part of a healthy diet, but excessive intake of anything is not good for your health. Try to reduce your intake to find the right balance. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more nutrition time. See you next time.
Pros and cons. Caffeine is the most widely used substance on the planet. Love it or hate it, it is the drug of choice of millions of people around the world. The pros are caffeine keeps us alert, improves physical performance, burns fats, and contains essential nutrients, beneficial to health. The cons are caffeine can cause insomnia, can affect your heart, can lead to increased anxiety, irritability, and headache.
Are you kind of the person that can't even start a day without a cup of coffee?
Or maybe you have to have that midday soda just to make it through the workday. Well, Meredith is looking into caffeine and its effect on the body. Hey, Meredith.
Hey, good morning, guys. Well, what better place to start my research at than at a coffee shop? So I went to the Well Coffee House in Fishers, and it's part of a changing trend in Indianapolis where coffee drinking has sort of become its own culture.
So at a minimum, you usually drink 2 cups, about 24 ounces. That's on a weekday. On a weekend, I can drink like 5 cups. I'll just go out and hang out at a coffee shop.
And that's sort of the norm for a lot of people. I'm a 2 cups of coffee a day kind of person. But if you do a quick Google search asking, is coffee good for you? Or is caffeine good for you? And is caffeine addictive? You're going to get an extremely mixed bag of results. So I found an expert on addiction and I asked him, in terms of caffeine, is coffee good for you?
It depends on who you ask and how much you drink.
Okay.
So I think caffeine in general is not bad for you.
So that's great news for all of us early morning coffee drinkers, but it's important to still listen to your body and recognize the effects that caffeine is having on you personally.
It depends on the day. Like if I drink a lot, like that 5 cups, like I'll feel really jittery and like I can feel my heart.
So the doctor says if you're going to drink caffeine, don't go crazy. And the one thing he absolutely said you can't do is mix caffeine and alcohol. So if you're a Red Bull vodka kind of person, he was like, that's actually like the worst thing you could be doing because you have a depressant mixed with something that's kind of like hyping you up. So I heard you say earlier, Red Bull was something that you used to drink.
Yeah. Are you implying I drink it with vodka?
No,
Is that
I'm
why
not.
you're looking at me like this?
I'm just saying, no Red Bull ever should
I know,
really be.
yeah. And I'm also, like those Four Locos, I mean, the things that also have like coffee, caffeine, sometimes alcohol in them too. I mean, how scary is that combo?
Yeah, I stopped drinking Red Bulls after I saw an experiment melting plastics. And I was like, oh, if that's actually happening, I don't think I don't need that in my life. All right, Meredith, thank you.
Yes,
Pretty
absolutely.
interesting look there. Appreciate
Getting jittery just thinking
it.
about
I
all
know,
this.
right?
Issue applied in Ecuador. According to a study carried out by Infobae, an Ecuadorian drank an average of 32 cups of coffee per year, a low figure compared to other countries worldwide. Coffee in Ecuador means income generation that contributes to increase the economy in the producing territories. The ecological importance of coffee in Ecuador establishes the wide diversity of soils in which it is grown. Conclusion. Caffeine is a natural drug that stimulates the central nervous system and it is a diuretic in nature, but this doesn't make it harmful to health. The consumption of caffeine should be adequately controlled. Pregnant women, children, and older adults with certain health problems should avoid the consumption of caffeinated foods and beverages. Caffeine is not bad if it is consumed in moderate amounts. We must keep in mind that everything in excess is bad and can harm our health. Thank you.